Welcome to the Rocket Roof Show, where we equip fellow roofers to do more commercial business every first and third Thursday of the month. It's time to launch your business to the next level.
This is Project Command. Stand by your power transfer.
3, 2, 1. Blast off!
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Rocket Roof Show with your host, Andy Neer. I am owner of Empire Roofing Contractors, but I also do a podcast here, honing in on the commercial roofing industry. And really our goal here is to equip and educate commercial roofing contractors into the commercial roofing industry. So today I have a special guest named Matt Cullen. Mr. Cullen comes from a company called Castagra. Before, I'm not going to explain what you do, but we're here talking about relationships with manufacturers and suppliers, specifically manufacturers. And so I thought before I get too far along, I'm just going to have you introduce yourself and kind of what you do, and then we'll get to
Absolutely. Well, first off, thanks for having me. My name is Matt Cullen. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Castagra. We are a products innovation company. We invented a product called Ecodor that we use in many different industries. But most recently, our big focus is these flat roofs and re-roofs.
Okay, awesome. And so what do you specifically do? Your job is really techie, right?
Yeah, I mean, we wear a lot of hats around here. We are a smaller company, but as business development, I look for areas where our invention can be a game-changing, disrupting technology, where we're going to be a better, faster, less expensive, and we do have a very compelling green component to our material, but essentially where we're going to be a better, faster material.
Awesome. Well, today's topic, like I alluded to a minute ago, is manufacturers' relationships. And this is kind of an important topic to me because I guess it just came naturally. How I pick a manufacturer is different than many other people pick manufacturers. And we all have our unique ways of doing that, right? Could be cost, could be service, can be relationships. It can be, performance of product and all those things. So why is this something that contractors, I'm going to ask you first, why is this something contractors should make a priority, having a relationship with a manufacturer?
Well, I mean, I think anytime you can bring in professionals and people are professionals and they're really good at different specific things. And so we can't all be everything. And so by being able to tap into that person who knows their craft really, really well, they're going to help you out there. So, I think it really has to do with that trust relationship and that relationship between the roofing supplier and the company itself. Roofing, when I first started to do this, I could tell that folks were apprehensive to introduce me to their client. A lot of times they would ask me a bunch of things and I was teaching and selling them on how to sell the product as opposed to really be that person for them that could represent our product specifically to their client. And I really feel when you have that relationship and trust between that the supplier and the end roofer, it opens up the door for me to do my job and the roofer to do their job. And the roofer is really a consultant to their customer. And it's their job to come find out the new things that are better, faster, and innovative to bring those to their customers.
Right. And so, when people think good relationship with their manufacturer, I mean, that can be different size manufacturers, right? Like, I mean, there's some roofing companies out there that are multi-billion-dollar companies. And then there's some other really good manufacturers that are several $1 million companies, right? Like, so can you kind of, what do you think about that? It's just because a manufacturer is bigger doesn't necessarily mean they're better, correct?
No, absolutely. I mean, for me, it's, I come from a place of bias, so filter it. I work for a smaller boutique type of coating system. That gives me the ability to really give a lot of attention to my customers. Yep. Whereas, someone with GE Silicone might not be able to have that attention and detail. Our model has been, we want to go local into a market and go deep because it's really important for us to support our local people. Yep. We'll move on once we've supported the people that we have here right now.
Right. So let's say you do have a close relationship as opposed to not really a relationship at all with a manufacturer. How does this impact warranty claims?
I mean, what I've noticed is, I work very, very closely with my roofing contractors on this warranty process. I mean, it usually starts well before we even have the job. And so I'm walking those roofs with those guys. I'm bringing our product up there. We're doing adhesion testing. I would much rather go up there, spend some time and say, you know what, this one isn't a good fit for us, or this is a good fit for us. So when we do move forward, we can do so without any hesitation or reservation in regards to, the customer being happy. So again, I'm up there, I'm doing pull tests, I'm helping them. I'm even helping them write a proposal. I'm helping them with coverage rates and different things like that. And so I give a lot of attention to my customers out there. And then when it comes down to getting the 20-year NDL or whatever we're working on, it's really not that big of a deal, because we've been working it all along the way.
Yep. And would it be safe to say somebody you've had a good relationship with 5, 6, 10 years, and they've always been a good contractor, that when they do have an issue or maybe a really ticked off customer, they probably have more clout than a person that's first year?
100%. I mean, it really comes, not to keep coming back to this trust thing, but if I have a long relationship with this guy and he says, hey, Matt, we have a failure or we had a problem or whatever, I don't, my first reaction is just to believe him and help support him through this process. Whereas if we didn't have a relationship, we're going to take another route. And that's, I'm not trying to try to figure out all of the things that someone did wrong if I have a relationship with them, because I know based on our experience that they're always doing the 10 right steps. Yep. And so it just cleans up that whole thing.
Sure.
We want to take a quick minute to thank our sponsor, Top Roof Contractors. If you're looking for more commercial roofing projects or a network of vetted contractors to collaborate with, you need to take a closer look. Visit toproofcontractors.com to learn what it takes to join.
So now all manufacturers are different, but all of them have fine print. I'd like to say most everybody knows when it comes to warranties, there's a fine print or even instructions, but many new contractors, specifically in the commercial industry, don't realize how much fine print there is. How can having a close relationship with your rep really ensure that both contractors and the customers are protected?
So our warranties are pretty straightforward, and we don't have crazy 20-page fine print warranties. We say what we can do and we stay away from what we don't. But when it really comes down to it, if there's a problem, and I have a relationship with that contractor, nearly 100% of the time, we're going to go above and beyond the warranty anyways. It's really not about the warranty for us. It's about a 10-year, 20-year plus relationship with someone. Mm-hmm. And that's where these relationships are very, very fruitful. I'm not interested in a job. I like all jobs, but what I really want is that 10, 20-year relationship where we can build a business.
Yep, for sure. I was just talking to somebody the other day about, warranties, although they are important, they're really just words on a paper. And really it's the relationship between the contractor and the building owner. And I'd say 99 times out of 100, the building owner is not going to contact the manufacturer so long as you keep that communication open and trust. And so,
100%. Yep.
So can having a better relationship with suppliers and manufacturers get you better payment terms?
So not from us. Typically if we sell through a distributor, like, Elite Roofing Supply is one of our good ones, they handle all of those types of credit applications and credit terms and things like that.
Yep.
If we ship product to our customers directly, typically we have a 30-day type of term. We don't do a lot of different credit terms and different things like that, but the suppliers allow us to do that. I was told by some of these suppliers that there's really two functions of a roofing supplier. There's one, it's to apply credit terms, and two, it's to break up bulk. So, and they do a good job of it.
Yep. So, let's be honest here. No company is perfect. There'll be times when others don't arrive, things don't arrive when they're scheduled. How do you suggest roofers handle you know, being on time and scheduling and keeping a tight ship when it comes to keeping a good relationship with a supplier. And there's a second part to that question I'll follow up with.
Yeah. I mean, for me, we're pretty simple. I mean, if you can give me 2 weeks, it's amazing what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give me 2 hours,
Yeah.
there's very little what I can do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the biggest thing is try to plan in advance. I mean, I know there's a lot of things, there's a lot of moving pieces and different things like that. But as far as the supplies, I mean, planning a couple of weeks out for a large job or even a small job should not be too difficult. So
Right.
just try to give me that window. If you can do it, great.
Yeah, I think a lot of roofers that are in their first couple of years, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of them, they operate in that 24-hour window, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh shoot, I needed that tomorrow. I better find out who can get it to me, or you know, and so I know that's one thing I struggled for a long time was, you know, hey, I should have been on top of this 2 days ago, and I'm not. And you know, and suppliers and manufacturers, they want to bend over backwards to get your business, but there comes a point where you're probably not going to be the high priority guy for them when they need to get stuff out. Yeah, you'll take a number. But also at the same time, you know, we still need to have urgency for our jobs. And I think a lot of the lease suppliers we work with, they understand that. They understand what industry in, and there's urgency with storms and everything. So I have to applaud them on that.
Yeah.
A lot of manufacturers have volume rebates. Like I said, every manufacturer set up different. There's direct suppliers and there's wholesalers and there's, you know, people that don't sell directly to the end consumer and this and that. But, you know, everybody, obviously, if you can sell 6 truckloads as opposed to 1 pallet, obviously there's a deal. So when a roofer is talking to maybe a manufacturer or supplier, a lot of them have volume rebates. Why is this something that roofers should look at, and how will it help them? It also help them and the manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I get that question all the time, and it's a really good question actually, because we're actually working on something like this right now. It's nothing that we've done in the past, and you know, when we were doing oil and gas and water and wastewater, it just wasn't really a thing. Whereas in the roofing industry, it's something that, you know, we see all the time. I love it. It helps me develop relationships and helps me speed up the time frame in which I can develop these relationships. But the biggest thing for me is, look, we're all out here to make some money. I mean, we're not out here doing this to burn calories. So so the juice has to be worth the squeeze. And I love, and not to use all these analogies, but I love to have people have legs in the race with us. If we're doing well, I want to see them do well. And it's not only with me out there helping them out with the project or helping them be more efficient with the product. But you know, I think the rebate things gives people a macro view of their year, and it helps them kind of figure stuff out. And if I have a great year, nothing makes me happier than to be able to share that with someone else in a financial matter. And so, you know, I look forward to doing high fives with my guys that we're just going to kill it with. I mean, you know, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I know some contractors, they think the rebate is not worth the time and effort to do it, you know. So I see manufacturers and suppliers trying to take the effort of making it easier, so you don't have a whole bunch of paperwork.
Yeah.
And all these different things you got to go through just to get your little rebate. So I appreciate you guys making that easier. A couple things I wanted to ask as far as this might be more supplier directed, but it could be both. Is like equipment, like, you know, different manufacturers, different suppliers are going to have you know either trucks or fabrication equipment. It's going to be like a Neanderthal, or it's going to be state of the art, you know. And I know at the end you really just want a quality product, but you know, for instance, when I have my material show up on my job, it is kind of nice to know that you don't have a piece of equipment that's breaking down every time it's showing up. And I've actually had customers compliment, you know, wow, that's a cool boom. I didn't know they're using these nowadays. So what do you have to say about using new equipment as opposed to Neanderthal equipment when a manufacturer suppliers?
Well, that's a question that really hits home for us. So we have spray applied applications, and then we have manual applied applications. So if I have a crew and we're coating a tank, and we're going up a wall, like a water tank. We're going up a wall, around piping, intricate detail. We have to spray that. And we use a pretty expensive plural component spray system. And these things are not inexpensive. I mean, I've had people spend $100,000 on some of these systems. When we're coating the inside of a tank, the price per square foot can justify those expensive spray systems, because the other products that we compete with in that freshwater space that have all of the certifications for freshwater justify that price point. On roofs, you know, we have one material that does the same material that will do the roofs. So if we're doing a flat application on a roof, it is a breath of fresh air that I get to go from $100,000 spray rig to a $2 roller. And so we just roll our product. I mean, our product, the equipment needed to spray, to put our product out on a roof, there's not even $500 worth of material. I mean, we're talking a drill, a roller, and a stick. And a squeegee. So it is just super easy. I mean, the most technical advanced thing is the dang drill. So it's been a breath of fresh air going from that very sophisticated spray system to a roller. You know, I always say, like, one of my best spray applicators is an ex-aviation mechanic, and he just has that detail-orientated type of personality where he loves to tinker with things, and the guys that you pay to manage the expensive equipment are different than the guys that you pay to roll a roller around. And so the flat roofs have been a breath of fresh air, because the need of any type of real sophisticated equipment is gone.
Right. So the next factor I'd like to ask is cost, because I have a particular supplier that I like to use, and a couple of manufacturers that I use that are higher cost. You know, they're not, I would probably say a little bit above middle of the road. And just for the audience here, I don't buy from you, maybe sometime in the future, but just to kind of iterate that I'm not a buyer of yours, but you know, some people ask me, well, why do you use that? They're more expensive. And I like to say, you know, well, when you pay a little bit more expensive, you know, a little bit higher price, you get a little bit more better relationship, you get more communication, and you get taken care of more. I say I get a little more love. I feel a little bit more love because I pay a little bit more price. But I see a lot of contractors, they will just continue to dance around from supplier to manufacturer based on whatever price sale they got going on or whatever incentive they got going on at the time. And is there any dangers you see in that? You know, not really forging a relationship with one particular manufacturer supplier and just going with that low price?
I mean, let's face it. I mean, we do favors, and we work harder for people that we know and like and want to do business for more. So if there's a situation where I have 5 pallet loads left and I have a guy that I've never heard of who's just calling up, or I have a guy I've already done a bunch of business with, I mean, who's going to get that product? It's pretty straightforward. I mean, and then that other guy will have to wait if we have to reorder more or whatnot. So, yeah, I mean, relationships are everything.
Sure. So that's all my questions. I really appreciate you coming on the podcast today, because I think it's really important. People don't really think about the relationship that they have with manufacturers and suppliers. They always think about the one with employees. They always think about the one with customers. And I actually had a guy the other day comment on my post. He said, I don't care one iota about manufacturers' relationships. I go with whoever is going to give me the lowest price. And if they do me wrong, I fire them and move on to the next one. And I'm like, wow, you know, that must not be a very fun world to live in.
Yeah, well, and how many suppliers are there really? I mean, they're new ones. I mean, you know, we can't go through one a day. So the other thing that I take from this is, you know, life is short, guys. And if we're going to be working, let's try to enjoy it. You know, some of the friends that I've made that are from my clients are truly friends. And so if we can do this and enjoy our time while we're in our professions, hey, that's a great way to go through my day.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Matt. If somebody wanted to reach out to you for any questions, do you mind just leaving your contact info?
Yeah, again, Matt Cullen. I'm the Vice President of Business Development for Castagra. My direct phone number is 303-483-3245. And take a look at our company at Castagra.com. That's Castagra.com. And we have loads of videos and everything for you to take a look at.
Awesome.
All right, man.
Thank you. I appreciate your time for being on today. I know you got a busy schedule, and so I wanted to make this happen. So, hey, you have a good weekend.
Likewise. Take care.
Yep.
You've been listening to the Rocket Roof Show podcast. Be sure to subscribe through your favorite podcasting platforms such as iTunes or Google Play to get the latest episodes as they are launched. For more, please follow us on social media or visit our website at rocketroofshow.com. We look forward to joining you here again soon at the next launch.